Good morning, guys. It is bright and early on I guess it's Friday. Yeah, Friday morning. 8 o'clock in the morning. Duncan is off to school. I am off to breakfast. So let's get this day started right. Last night after I finished up the vlog, while I was waiting for it to upload and everything, I don't know why I got antsy. I was watching Max Lee's live stream on Periscope. That's kind of hard to say. But he was talking about LED lights, and so I was shopping around on Amazon for that. And then he said his video had just gone live. It's like, wow, I've got a video that's sitting there waiting to go live. Why don't I just do it? So I flipped the switch, I pushed it live everywhere, and I woke up this morning and that video's got nearly 1,000 views. That's the way to start the day. When the majority of the other tech news videos I've done in the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, however many it's been, most of them have been accruing like 13 to 1,500 views. Maybe, I think one of them got over 2,000 views just in these first few weeks. To have one that's already approaching that after 6 hours, 8 hours, that's pretty amazing. Which means either the content was something people wanted, or there were a lot of people awake at midnight or 12:30 or whenever it was I released it. But that sounds like it's time for breakfast. And I got an email from B&H last night. They saw my Zenfone Zoom unboxing video and they liked it. Boy, that's loud. I also got an email from Asus just giving me some tips and tricks, some things to look at on the Zenfone Zoom. So I'll definitely be looking through that. There's actually a guide in there for how to get the best results out of your photos, which I think is probably good tips just for phones in general, but I'll definitely be using it on the Zenfone Zoom. And I shot an email over to Huawei about the Huawei watch review, basically saying I am so sorry because they sent me the watch back in like October and it's now January and I'm just getting around to reviewing it. Not for any other reason than just didn't do it yet. Realistically, I need to establish a back and forth with Huawei on my own channel because it'd be really nice to be able to review Huawei phones and Honor phones and other things like that without having to do it through XDA, being able to do it on my own as my own tech channel. And actually, as a result of Max's live stream last night, talking about LEDs and stuff, while I was watching his thing, as I said, I was on Amazon looking around at things. He mentioned that he had outside in his outside tent filming setup a Yongnuo, I'm gonna say that horribly, YN300 LED light. So while he was talking about it, while he was talking about everything else, I started looking it up on Amazon, and apparently there are 3 versions of it, 1, 2, and 3. Each one with different features, and it's just slightly different iteration releases. But what's more, there's actually a 4th version. There's the Yongnuo YN300 1, 2, 3, and Air. And I think the Air is actually the newest one. The first 3 have 300 LEDs in them and they go back and forth between 3200 Kelvin and 5500 Kelvin. And I think there's also a version that just does 5500 Kelvin, which is probably what I would use anyway. But then the YN300 Air only has 96 LEDs, but apparently puts out almost the same amount of light. It's like 2200 lumens for the YN300 and then 2000 lumens for the YN300 Air. And the Air version is significantly slimmer, lighter, obviously going to be easier on batteries, so I ordered that one. It was actually $25 less than the original 3, something like that. I think you can get 1, 2, and 3 for like $59, $69, something like that. But the problem with it is paying the price that you pay for it. I paid $41 for it. It does not come with a battery. It does not come with a charger or an AC adapter or anything. But luckily, because I do already have a little LED on-camera light, a small one, like a 150 LED one, the battery from that probably will work with this. And if it doesn't, I can always order an adapter, like just a wall AC adapter, and probably a battery or 2. So this could become a significantly more expensive purchase over time. I really just wanted to get it in and try it out and see how it works, because the G7 that I've been using does not require a whole lot of light. As I showed you guys a couple of days ago, I have these big soft boxes here that have 5 light bulbs in each of them, and I'm now using 1 light bulb in each of them, and it's more than doing the job. Now, if I could move that back to using 2 little teeny LED panels, even if it cost me $200 to do so, that'd be more than worth it for me. If for no other reason than just having smaller footprint, lighter weight, yeah, that'd be totally worth it. So when that does come in, I'll probably make a video about it, because the YN300 Air specifically, there's like 2 videos on all of YouTube about it, maybe 3. I think there's 1 in English, 1 in Italian, 1 in Japanese, and that's it. And the one in English, it's not great, so I would like to make one that is great. And the majority of the people that are actually making these videos are shining them against a wall, as if they were using it just as an accent light, which, you know, would probably be really good for that. Whereas I would be more inclined to use it as a talent light. I would be more inclined to shine it at myself. And that's the kind of thing I like to see when I'm looking at a video about it. Anyway, my food is getting cold. Morning meeting completed, ready to start the day in terms of doing day job stuff, but I did take just a few minutes. I'm starting to get into this graphic design thing. I'm starting to get really pumped about it. So I took a little bit of time, like I said, and redid my little outro card again. I had all these little icons in a grid and they were not clickable. However, on YouTube, I'm going to be able to make this clickable. It goes straight to my website. I can make this clickable to go to Google+. These 2 are kind of obvious. It's just Facebook and Twitter. This one will be clickable to go to my vlogging channel, subscribe button, and of course you can use the camera to scan this one in Snapchat, and then put whatever video it is right there. And that was actually super duper simple to do in GIMP. It just takes a little bit of time to do it. And by the way, the reasoning for putting this right here is I will probably have a channel logo down here in the corner that will just display all the time. It's going to be really busy. It's going to be really... Actually, I think the biggest problem with it is just going to be keeping all the annotations up to date. And there are third-party things you can do to manage all of that. I might look into one of those. I think there's one called Tube Filter or Tube Buddy or something. Test Tube. I don't know. So I may look into one of those, but for something that I threw together in maybe 5 or 10 minutes, that's not a bad first shot at it. Because I can take all of this, take all that transparency out of the background and put video underneath it, and it does look pretty decent. The few times that I've tried it now, if you haven't seen it already, this is the latest news video on the Twill channel. Yeah, you've got that little moving background, it's very subtle, it's very nice. And then of course these logos over top of it that are useless. So we're gonna take care of that, just like I showed you just a minute ago. Well, hey there, we're in the car now. Yeah, Christina came down just a few minutes ago and basically said, we have errands that need to be run. You need to go run errands. Okay, I needed to go out to the FedEx box anyway to take the Huawei watch. I actually ended up placing an order earlier. I bought another phone. I'm kind of okay with this, buying inexpensive phones, because one, a lot of times the unboxings do really well and the reviews almost always do really well. And two, since it is a relatively inexpensive phone, I can probably do a giveaway of it. So Best Buy has the blue Vivo XL, normally $150 phone, for $100. I think it's a today only thing. I'll put a link to it if it's not. And actually that does bring me to the other point. I did not realize until late last night when I watched Max Lee's Periscope about making money on the internet. So many sites have affiliate programs. I need to be looking more into this. Basically, if I put out a link to something, there really ought to be affiliate stuff tied to it, just because it never hurts to make a couple of extra bucks here and there. So in this case, Best Buy does have an affiliate program. I've gone ahead and applied to it to see if they get back to me before this video goes up. Hopefully they'll get back to me before the blue Vivo XL shows up. But again, for $100, it's got an octa-core MediaTek processor, 2 gigs of RAM, 720p display. It's like a 3000 milliamp hour battery. It's very, very comparable to the Blue Life 1X that I still have yet to review. And I was actually planning on going ahead and finishing up the OnePlus X review, moving to the Blue Life 1X, and doing that review about a week from now. But now that the Zenfone Zoom is here, that one sort of takes precedence. So I think I'm going to finish up the OnePlus X review over the weekend, switch to the Zenfone Zoom over the weekend, and then in another week or week and a half, I'll do the Zenfone Zoom review. I've got to get faster and more efficient at doing reviews. And we're back at Walmart. Well, that thoroughly stinks. I just had to take back a can of formula because Ellis, his stomach doesn't agree with it. Completely unopened, and Walmart says they have to throw it away, which means that that's like a $28 can of formula. Could be given to somebody, could be donated. They're throwing it away. We did get the money back on it, so I'm going to be buying another one, but it's just kind of sucks. I mean, I know it's a policy, it's for the customers and whatnot, but we returned this one because Ellis's little tummy didn't agree with it. And I think I'm going to be doing this one, the orange sensitive one, because he's more sensitive. I just realized I'm really zoomed in. Oh well. You know, it's not even so much that I'm concerned for the big bad corporation, it's the wastefulness of it that concerns me. And they say it's for the protection of the consumer. I understand not putting it back on the store shelf, even though it is still a sealed product, but I asked the lady behind the counter, couldn't it potentially just be donated? Take it to a women's shelter or an orphanage or someplace with babies that don't have the things that they need. And she said legally they're not allowed to do it. There are liabilities associated with it. As soon as it leaves the store, it cannot go back on a shelf. It cannot be handled in any way by the store other than to take it and throw it in the trash, which sucks. And paperwork dropped off at the daycare. Ellis is now enrolled, I guess, so that in about a month he will go and Christina can go back to work then. Well, that's absolutely confusing and asinine. I have the Huawei watch. I was wanting to send it out. I went to a FedEx Express box. And I looked at the label, luckily, before I stuck it in the express box, because it's FedEx Home. Why would a company put a FedEx Home label on a return label? That means I have to drive to I don't know where to ship it out. I'm gonna send an email over to Huawei when I get home and say, how am I supposed to ship this out? Okay, I take back some of the nice things that I've said about the Taco Bell app in the past. Times I've used it before, it's worked very well. But if the app crashes, it loses everything. So you can't actually tell them that you're there to pick up your order. So I had to go inside and wait for the manager to come up because the cashier didn't have a clue how to ring it up. Let's just say it was a process. And we're home, and you're still zoomed in. That's better. Now you're wide. Well, you're not wide, but you're in wide angle. Hello, little guy. And you have glitter on your eye.
No, I can't get it off.
Did you just glitter him? Just sprinkle him?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. All of the foods, and I got a package. It's from the Smile More store, and that is just adorable. Now, unfortunately, they only had 6 months. They had newborn in 6 months, And for whatever reason, it still says Roman Atwood Pranks instead of just having the trademark, but still, it's gonna be cute.
Let me see it. Oh, cute.
Yep, it's a good color too. Trying out the tummy time machine.
Look.
It's got lights on it and toys.
Look.
That looks like a happy face. I don't even think he's looking at it, but there's music.
Look, we can see Ellis.
That's more of a concerned face now. That was a really nice surprise. I think I mentioned before, I made a long video about, all sorts of different ways to make money on the internet, ways that I've been making money on my YouTube channel, specifically talking about sponsorships and how I've worked through a company called FameBit to do some of my sponsorships. Not even sure how I ended up over here. I think it was from the FameBit Facebook page, but I ended up on Lon Seidman's channel. And Lon is actually talking about how he got banned by FameBit from the FameBit site for asking questions about the reviews. But what surprised me is what actually happens next.
Now, one person did this correctly, and that's this guy. I want to give him a good shout out because he did the right thing. So Jordan Keys, in his review of the Ring doorbell, not only stated that they sent him the doorbell for review, but they also were compensating him for it. And I think that is exactly what you should do.
And that was amazing to see. That is exactly why anytime I do a sponsored review, anytime I do a sponsored post of any kind, I make sure to say in the video, I was provided the product for free for review, if I did get it, and I was compensated for providing my opinion, but the opinions are my own. So Lon, if you do happen to see this video, I'm sure you won't, but if you did, thank you so much for that. Like I said, I do make sure to put it in the video, but I also put it in the description because that's what it says to do on FameBit. When you look at the actual workrooms for when you're working with a company, it says in the bottom right corner, don't forget to let your audience know this is a sponsored video. By law, it's required that sponsorships are disclosed. Read this article and visit the FTC website to read the rules and the regulations on how to properly disclose it. I did that once, and that's all it takes. All you have to do is say exactly what I said a minute ago. Provided for free for review, compensated for my opinion. But still, really cool to see myself pop up in somebody else's video. Somebody that has, 75,000 subscribers. That's awesome. And it is a little while later, hanging out with the little men, the small men of the house. How you doing, littlest one? Christina picked up this pacifier clip for him, which I think he's determined is just the let's pop this out so I can cry string. And you are playing what? Kung Fu Panda card game?
Yeah,
looks like Hearthstone.
Game. It's a Kung Fu Panda card game.
Are you winning? Do you know how to play it?
Yeah.
Oh, that looks cool. It does look like Hearthstone. He's had a bottle and he's being all super talkative and moving and looking around. Where are you trying to go? Yep. And Duncan is playing his game. Always playing his game. Yeah, you tell him about it, Ellis. You tell him all about it. And I just heard that it is time for food. Are you ready for food? You just had your food, didn't you? Yeah. I'm gonna go have mine now. And it is chicken pot pie. All of the pies that are chickens and in pots. Not homemade, it's frozen something, but we'll give it a shot. And away we go. Time for another basketball practice. My parents are supposed to be here in a little while. I think they said it would probably be 7:30 or 8 o'clock, something like that. So actually, right about the time we get back from practice, they should be here. And they'll probably be there spoiling that baby. That's what they do. What? He's just making faces back there. And we are done for tonight. And apparently the game tomorrow morning is not as early as I thought it was going to be. I actually thought it was going to be like another 9 o'clock game, but they say it was 10, so that's fine by me. I'll sleep another hour. Although I won't get to sleep another hour. Did you have fun tonight, Duncan? Well, the fun has only begun. Duncan's papa and nan, my parents are coming in tonight, so... Actually, a couple of you guys were asking about them. They apparently are doing okay now. My mom had the wreck, nothing bad happened. The car, of course, got damaged pretty badly, but she's fine. My dad has been sick for several weeks, but apparently he's well enough now for them to come. He just had bronchitis and pink eye and who knows what else. But they're coming, if not here already. But let's go see him. Good?
Uh-huh.
Good. And we have made it home and I'm exhausted. And there's people here. Who has got Ellis? What do you do? He's out. He's completely
I
out.
try to wake him up.
No.
Wake up!
He says no.
Wake
He's out.
up!
And it is much, much later at night at this point. Everybody's heading to bed. It's actually after 11 p.m., so I probably ought to wrap this up and head to bed myself. I did pull the Panasonic G7 with a 20mm out a little while for a little while earlier. Some amazing shots out of this. In low light, in that room, with no flash. got some amazing pictures. So I was very pleased with that. And all in all, even though it was a bit of a stressful day, not a bad one. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for spending the day with me and my family and listening to me ramble on and on about things, because I love to do that. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye, guys.